Yes, thank you. I did, as a matter of fact, get. It's something I wanted to do for a long time. I've seen a lot of people ask, how do I measure frame rate, or how do I tell if I'm using too much memory, or if I've got a memory leak? And I usually point them in the direction of the MY Developers Profiler tool, which I still do because it's a great little tool for finding memory leaks or performance issues. But sometimes you just want to get like a quick snapshot. So what I put out was, see if I can show it to you here. I don't know, can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
So this tool, it's basically what you would expect. You run this tool, and then once it starts up, you start to see a little graph that shows you real-time collection of what your frame rate has been. And it shows you over here what the running average is for a certain number of samples, and the high and low values. And it does this for frame rate, main memory usage, and video memory, which is generally not quite so interesting. And it also dumps out a little detailed set of metrics for other things about your system, like what system you're running on, are you on the simulator, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just released an update to it. And, go ahead. I thought I heard somebody there.
That's a nice tool. I actually, and I just bought your Green Throttle tool that you put out a week or two ago. I'm looking forward to playing with that a lot.
Well, good, because I got a release coming up on that this week too, or update. Great. It's time to get that out of early adopter and get some serious documentation into that. So I don't want to take over the show here. I feel like I'm already doing that, but Charles, could I have just a couple more minutes?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I do want to mention that on this tool in particular, that you do have it very well documented, which I tried to. Yes, thank you. I was very impressed with.
I added several features in here. I didn't mention it. I'm talking right over you. I'm doing it again. One thing that I found with doing this yourself is it's really hard to get a meter that shows you like the frame rate. It's always some number that's jumping up and down. You can't read it. Or, for example, with memory, that's really hard for people to get wrap their minds around as far as how do I measure this, or when do I clear out, do garbage collection on purpose, things like that. So what you're like on this graph, what you're seeing is that Lua, as it's typically set up, will set a point and say I've got this much memory. And when that much memory has doubled, garbage collection automatically kicks on, and it tries to free up everything. So I was talking to a guy today, and he was seeing something he thought looked like a memory leak, but I wasn't 100% convinced. I thought maybe it was just this accumulation. So long story short, this graph tool also has some options so you can clean this kind of thing up. You can tell it, do garbage collection before you measure, so you can get a more accurate reading on how much memory is actually being used frame to frame or measurement to measurement. So to the other thing that I really wanted to talk about, this all came out of a, where is it? Screen share. And we'll get there. This all came out of something that I've been trying to do for a while. I used to work at Intel, and my last job was working as a performance analyzer guy for the architecture. And so I've really been wanting to put together a benchmarking suite for Corona, because you guys do week-to-week releases or day-to-day sometime, and I want to see how that looks over time, if there's a difference in performance, etc. And so what I did, long story short, again, I put together this tool, and I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to post it out in the forums so that I can stop talking and people can download it. But basically what I'm looking for is I'm hoping people who have Android devices will download 2 different versions of this and run it for me, and it will send me back a report. It's going to do 32 benchmarks that it runs 3 times to get a decent sampling, and it bundles all that up, and then when it gets done, the user will be able to see how their system performs. I don't know if you can read this on the screen. It's kind of small.
It's good.
And it will send me an email, and then after about 2 weeks, I'm going to accumulate all that data and post it out on the forums as in nice graphs and stuff like that, so people can see what different devices behave like, and so on and so forth, and if there's been a difference between the two builds. I've got a build from June 15th last year, 833, and June 15th this year, 1142. And I'm going to compare them side by side. And that's my last talking point, and then I promise I'll try to shut up.
Now, do you have these? Do you have this? You said it's going to send you an email. So you don't have it to where it stores the data automatically in a database on the web?
It doesn't. Between last week and this week, I didn't have time to set up a server with a connection and SQL database. No, sir, I did not do that.
Turn it off, man.
Come on, man.
I'm good, but I'm just not that good. For goodness sake. Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to shut the heck up. It's related, so let me get this together here.
Yeah, I think that would
be. I've already run this on my own Nexus 7, and what you're seeing here is a frame rate comparison, and the blue one is 833, and the orange one is this year's 1142. And you can see what we got here is basically render 100 circles on screen every frame and then destroy them. 200 circles, 300, 400, 500. And not that I would expect a lot of difference, but this year's build is slightly faster overall, and it pretty much starts to the application was set to seek 60 frames per second as its preferred frame rate, and it starts to drop off when you get to around 200 new circles every frame, for every frame. So,
interesting.
And I am going to ask you some questions, and then shut up here. Let's see. Memory costs, we don't care about that. An overall graph. The benchmarking tool does raw operations per second. Orange line, again, is the most recent one, so we can see that it's a little bit faster in some cases. Let me ask you this question. Here's something that people always talk about, but they don't really have any metrics to put to it. How much faster do you think using the pound mytable iterator, where you say I equals 1, and then you run until the number of table entries, versus using the iPairs iterator? How much faster do you think that is? I'll tell you, this one's going to be a lot faster.
I've heard that pairs is not the way to go, not optimal.
Not the way to go, yeah. So anybody listening, just guess.
Twice as fast.
Okay. 35 times faster.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's nice to talk about it in the forums, but I think it's important for people to realize that they're getting a huge hit if they use iterators. One more here.
And as you're talking about built-in iterators, like the...
Yeah, the built-in Lua iterator, pairs and iPairs. iPairs and pairs are pretty much the same. Pairs is a little bit slower. One more thing, localization. So people are always encouraged to localize their math and other global type and library type functions. And just to cut to it, yes, you should localize, but over millions of operations, you're going to save a little bit. Basically, a localized function is, you can't really see it here, but it's 26% faster than a global. So
that's good. That's good, though.
But this is the kind of data that I'm hoping to pull out of here, and that's where this graphing tool that we started this conversation on came from.
Oh, we're good.
Very cool.
Yeah, this is why I like Ed. Ed comes with show and tell toys.
Well, this is a geek show, so geeky as
We're all
possible.
geeking out on stats. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I mean, it's I'm a consumer of stats. I like stats. I'm not a producer of stats, though. I'm not the. So it's good to have somebody like you that can put that together. You seem to have your mind wrapped around those types of things.
I like that kind of thing too.
So you're gonna put
to me, this is strangely exciting. Don't ask me why. And I promise not to say anything unless asked for the next 5 minutes.
No, that's fine. So you're gonna post that in the forums.
Oh, now I'm asked. Yes, I'm gonna do a forums post. No, thank you. I'm gonna do a forums post today, and then I'll send you the link so we can put it in the show notes.
Okay, great.
And basically, it'll provide a summary of what I just said, and then links to the 2 different versions so people can download them and run them.
Okay. And remind us where can they get the memory meter?
They can get the memory meter from my site, which is roaminggamer.com, make games.
Okay. So, okay.
I can always send you a link for that too for the
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes and everything. But for anybody who's listening, they just go to roaminggamer.com and then click on Make Games, and it's all listed there. Along with the Green Throttle stuff that Brian was talking about.
Yeah, and a myriad of other new tools.